Clapping, look. Anytime today, you know, we still 7 next comes. Okay, let's build this button back. More. Everyone's at home, please. Excellent stuff. Now we've got a fantastic first act. No, let's keep it up. No, I'm so strong. That's fine. Well, let's hear it for our first act. She's a wonderful woman. She's a pride of East London. It's the wonderful Natasha Smith.
Thank you. How's everyone doing?
Yes.
Well, having a great start to the weekend. Well, anyway, I'm Natasha, and this is my 49th gig actually. So I'm right on your heels, Andrew. But yeah, I met a guy the other week called Ono, and I was thinking, that's a bit rude, isn't it? That's a bit feisty, like, that's a cheek, I thought. Like, called Ono, I mean, I'm sure he would have rather been aborted than to be constantly reminded that he was a mistake. His parents didn't want him around. It's like every time they see him, it's like, oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I mean, it must have been really confusing as a kid, like either at school or at home. And if anything went wrong, everyone was like, oh no! And he's like, you're always blaming me! I mean, even between the sheets, it's like his girlfriend would be going, oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh no! And he'd be looking around like all unsure and shit. And he would like prematurely ejaculate and he'd be like, oh no! And she'd be like, oh no. I mean, a name like that is just damn disappointing. I mean, he might as well be called Your Shit, or Why Don't You Fuck Off and Die? I mean, let's hope he doesn't meet and marry Yoko Ono and take on her last name. I mean, names are weird, aren't they? I mean, I've reduced names to numbers now. I've got so many kids. I mean, I just say, oh, that's the firstborn, that's number 2 or 5, that's the third, that's the penultimate, and that's the 5th and final. That's number 1 pain in the arse. I mean, names are really funny. I mean, even my name, my parents must have been some secret Satanists or thought I was a devil child, because Natasha backwards is, Satan! It's like, check it out, man. For real, it's like, Satan! I mean, they must have been like, we have done your bidding for you, O Dark Lord of Hell! A daughter for you! Ha ha ha! Well, I think it's true, actually. I mean, I have done some pretty demonic shit in my time, but I also think they were obsessed with insects, because myself and my siblings all begin with Nat. It's like Natasha, Natalie, Nathan, and Natoya. And my dad buggered off soon after Toya was born, so he might as well have called her Nat My Problem. And you got names with meanings, you got names that don't mean a thing. You got names with double meanings. There's like Russell, let's rustle up some leaves, or there's Jack, car Jack, Jack shit, or there's Robin, which is a bird, and burglary. And you've got some fucked up names as well, like there's the best one I've heard yet is a guy called King, first name Wayne. Wayne King. It's like, why would you do that to your kids? Like, oh, we named him after his uncle, Uncle Brian. But you've got kids named after alcoholic drinks like brandy, Stella, Chardonnay. Might be a factor in growing up alcoholic. Just ask Amy Winehouse. We should call some kids after some modern day alcoholic drinks like Blue WKD or Jaeger or methylated spirit. And you've got names that shorten into names that don't sound anything like the original. I mean, William becomes Bill, Robert becomes Bob, Richard becomes Dick, and Gareth becomes Wanker. And I mean, I'm from a Jamaican family where everyone's got 2 names. I mean, my dad's called Ricky and Nilsvin, and his brother's called Neville and Kush. So, I mean, white people, they have like pet names like Poppy, Teddy, Bundy, but Jamaicans have AKAs, it's like aliases, which are handy for a bit of criminality. So you also get these lazy parents as well that name their kids after themselves. And I'm talking about the fathers, like the dad's called Brian, the daughter's called Brianna. The dad's called Glenn, the daughter's called Glendina. The dad's called Junior, the daughter's called Junior. So, but does anyone remember those celebrity power couple nicknames like Brangelina and Tomcat and Kim Ye? Well, I noticed they didn't have one for Miley Cyrus when she was dating Arnold Schwarzenegger's son Patrick. Well, for obvious reasons. I mean, my nigger would have ranked right up there with, oh no! Yeah, I must admit, I do like doing comedy. Like I said, I've only been doing it since October. But really, it's because I'm a fame whore. I'm such a fame whore. I want to be on TV so badly that I've auditioned for Big Brother, I didn't get on that. I auditioned for X Factor, but only fucked up people get on that. My daughter threatened to put me on Jeremy Kyle if I didn't sort out my drug habit. And the only reason I'm training to be a nurse is so I can be on 24 hours in A&E. That's the only reason. Yeah, love TV, man. I mean, I would have loved to be in that Star Wars film. And did anyone see the trailer, that new Star Wars that was out last year? It's like, the awakening, have you felt it? And then up pops the token black dude, lost in the middle of the wilderness. And I thought, if this was aired back in the 70s, the cinema viewers would think, oh, is this some sci-fi Kunta Kinte? I mean, in the first series, Billy D. Williams was the token black dude who ended up getting, well, he ended up being a traitor, so no positive role models there. And in the second series, Mace Windu was the token black dude who ended up getting blasted out the window. So let's hope that in this series there's at least 3 tokens and that they all live to see the end of the film. I mean, I just don't know what it is with the lack of blacks in these fantasy sci-fi films. I mean, maybe it's the director's fantasy to live in a black-free world. I don't know. But it's like Lord of the Rings. It hasn't got not one spot on the domino. Not one. We just don't exist. And the themes are like always dark versus the light. And the orcs suspiciously look like black people. I mean, we should have an all-black Lord of the Rings. Call it Lord of the Bling. And have a big fat knuckle duster embedded with rhinestones. And hey, let's throw in some Mr. T fat gold rope chains to match. And who could we have as Gandalf? Morgan Freeman would make a great Gandalf with his big grey puffy afro. And we could have the Smith family. They're nice and wholesome. I mean, Will Smith could play Aragorn. Jada could play Lady Elf. Willow kind of looks like Gollum, so she could play his role. Jaden could be Frodo. Hey, I could be an orc. I mean, I am biased. I am a Smith, blacksmith, common as muck. And we can have happy adventures on the way to Mordor. And when we get there, have a ye old chicken feast. Because you know how black people love the chicken. Hey, I just had some at Nando's. But yeah, man. And what about these about this black James Bond hoo-ha as well? I mean, who ever heard of a black guy called James Bond? I mean, if they did cast a black dude, he'd have to have a name change. They'd have to call him like Jermaine Babatunde or something like that. Hey, I'm Babatunde, Jermaine Babatunde, 007. And it's like, what self-respecting black dude would turn informer? I mean, our black Bond movies would be called Spy Fi Die or Informer Fi Dead. Yeah, I think just get over it, people. We're not going to have a black Bond. If we have a black Bond, what's next? A white shaft? Unless the guy ends up in jail, then he might have a chance of being shafted. But and also, like, they've got the blacking up of white actors still in this day and age. I think in this modern day world, haven't they found like a Iranian, an Asian, or a Jamaican to play a part? I mean, there's like white English actors is like slapping on fake tan and like putting on these dodgy accents like that orange antique man like David Dickinson. And I mean, the worst culprit has got to be Sabine Kingsley. I mean, he's played Gandhi, an Indian, he's played Nizam, a Persian, and now he's played Nut in Gods and Kings. And Christian Bale as Moses? I mean, are you serious? Yeah, I mean, I think Kingsley owes more to fake tan than the whole of Essex put together. I mean, what are they going to have him starring in next? Are they going to have him starring in the biopic of Mugabe, President of Zimbabwe? Or they could have him playing in Mr. T's biopic. Hey, sucker, quit your jibber jabber. Ain't getting on no plane, crazy fool. Get some nuts. Or they could have him starring in Bill Cosby's biopic. I did not drug and rape those women. Or they could start whitening up black actors and have Bill Cosby play Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Forget about sci-fi films and black Bond movies. I like the Crime Channel. There's plenty of black people on there. Have you noticed the differences in the way the races commit crimes? I mean, black people just steal your bag without a second thought. But the white man, cold, calculated and methodical. I mean, even white women. I was watching Snapped Women Who Kill the other day, and this woman murdered her husband and got rid of the evidence by feeding him through the wood chipper. And I thought, genius! I mean, I wish I thought about that when trying to dispose of my ex. But they're making this new film called Fantastic Four, where the Human Torch is played by a black guy instead of a white guy. So I'm thinking, this must be a Ku Klux Klan concept. It must have been an idea of the Ku Klux Klan, because 1 minute he's the black guy, next minute, he's on fire! Thank you, you've been great.
It's the wonderful Natasha Smith, everyone.